Today's MMA news, we got Nassourdine Imavov, the #1 contender in the UFC middleweight division, saying, I'm not going to wait for the title anymore. I'm not going to sit out and be the backup fighter and wait months and months and months for the winner of Khamzat Chimaev, who's super inactive, and Dricus du Plessis. No need for me to wait. I'm going to fight in front of my home country in Paris, France. I don't know the dialect over there, but he's going to take on Caio Borralho. I don't even think Caio is in the top 5, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. I'm going to check the rankings just to verify with you guys. He is number 6. He's not even in the top 5. And Nassourdine Imavov just beat number 4 by knockout. Finished him, beat number 7. Now he's going down in the rankings to take on number 6. So everybody, give your respect to Nassourdine Imavov. He didn't have to do this. He could have waited. He could have been the backup fighter and said, I was the backup fighter. Give me the title shot. Give me the winner of Khamzat and Dricus. He could have easily done that. But he said, I'm going to defend my #1 ranking. Even though I don't have to fight, I'm going to defend it in France. And I'm going to fight not even the top 5 guy, Caio Borralho, undefeated in the UFC. A pretty big up-and-comer in this middleweight division. We will see what happens in this matchup. I'm going to go with Nassourdine Imavov to win a 48-47 close decision. I think Caio will land more volume. Imavov will land the harder shots. Wrestling and grappling will be canceled out. I think it's going to be a technical back-and-forth decision that could go either way, but because this is in France, they're going to give it a Nassourdine in a very, very close fight. So barely lean Nassourdine. That fight is, in my opinion, about a pick'em. I think when the odds do come out for that fight, they're going to be really close. Next, we do have Khalil Rountree coming off his win over the weekend. 50-45 on 2 judges' scorecards. 49-46 on the other over Jamal Hill, the former light heavyweight champion. And guess what? He didn't just do that on any given day. He did it on a day where he had a torn meniscus. A torn meniscus in his knee. He reveals on his YouTube channel that he entered his fight against Jamal Hill with a torn meniscus that happened 3 weeks prior to the fight. He hadn't been able to spar for those 3 weeks leading up to the matchup. Massive respect for Khalil Rountree. We'll see who he fights next. A lot of people want it to be Dominic Reyes. As we saw earlier, Dominic Reyes was calling for it. A lot of people love that matchup. A former title challenger. I wouldn't mind it at all. Not a bad matchup, but we'll see if they do anything there. These are all my fights to make next. We're going to make a video on that one very, very soon. And then we did have Ilia Topuria teasing a move up to the welterweight division. He says, at 170 pounds, it's basically just an easy path to become welterweight champion. He says, if you have a champion like Belal Muhammad in the welterweight division, that's an easy path. You can just go up and slap him and get the title, and that's it. So Ilia, for sure, in my opinion, he's going to be a welterweight someday. He's going to probably win this weekend. Maybe he beats Arman Tsarukyan after that. Maybe he doesn't. We'll see. Maybe defend it one more time. I expect him to have 3 fights, maybe 4 fights in the lightweight division. Really bulk up. And I think we get an Ilia Topuria welterweight title run. I really do think so. I think he's gonna chase Islam Makhachev, but we shall see, guys. We shall see. We got Nazim Sadykhov coming off a very impressive win over the weekend. He's 4-0-1 in the UFC, undefeated in the promotion, with all 4 of his wins in the UFC coming by way of finish. He calls out fellow finisher Manuel Torres for a fight in his kind of type of card, UFC Noche, on September 13th. Nazim Sadykhov says, I just fought in my country. I want to go to my opponent's country or my opponent's backyard where they're the loved fighter and I'm the enemy. I'm going into enemy territory. So Nazim wants this. He already saw what it's like to be the hero, to be the Azerbaijani in Azerbaijan. He doesn't want that. He's like, I saw what that is. I want the other side. I want them to boo me. I want them to dislike me. I want them to root against me. And I want Manuel Torres, UFC Noche, September 13th. Or I want Benoit Saint-Denis, September 6th, UFC Paris. Either one of these matchups is a banger. I'm going to say that right now. Manuel Torres, currently unbooked, probably likely to fight on the UFC Noche card. This would be a banger. Manuel's coming off a knockout over Drew Dober. He lost to Ignacio Bahamondes, I think the fight before that or the fight before that. Nazim and Manuel is an absolutely amazing fight where if Nazim wins, he's very, very much putting his name in the hat for a shot inside of the lightweight top 15. And if Benoit Saint-Denis is ready to fight another unranked guy, I mean, he could do this. I just don't see it being a very likely possibility, as Benoit Saint-Denis, we already know, is calling out Gamrot. He's calling out all these other guys. Fiziev's in the mix as well. There's a lot of other guys, I would say, inside of the rankings that are actually willing to fight Benoit Saint-Denis, including Mateusz Gamrot. So I would say Benoit has more to lose if he fights Nazim than if he does fight Mateusz Gamrot. He probably loses to Gamrot. He probably loses to Nazim. But either way, he's got more to lose if he fights Nazim because he's unranked. So I don't see this fight happening. But Manuel Torres, Nazim Sadikov, I don't dislike it at all. I would go Nazim Sadikov to win both of those matchups. The Manuel Torres fight, I think probably a submission, possibly. Benoit Saint-Denis, I'm going to go decision if that matchup gets made. But very fun fights. Very, 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 very fun fights. Then we got Tom Aspinall, the new UFC heavyweight champion. And guess what? He wants on UFC 321 October 25th. It is currently June 23rd. June, July, August, September, October. He wants 4 months from now to fight and defend his belt for the first time. And the reason being is, June 28th. UFC 317 is already booked. UFC 318 is already booked. UFC 319 is already booked. And UFC 320 is October 5th. So it's either October 5th or October 25th. And he's probably going to get paid a lot more, gain a lot more sponsorships and things like that in Abu Dhabi, a lot more gifts and all that craziness. So he gains a little bit more waiting, 3 more weeks for the October 25th card. He wants to headline Abu Dhabi, UFC 321, October 25th. I don't mind it at all. I do not mind this fight at all. Cyril Gane, could put him versus Tom Aspinall, because Cyril's not headlining France, as we already got Imavov taking on Caio Borralho. So Cyril Gane's not going to be on the France card, so likely he's going to be fighting Tom Aspinall next. Cyril, Tom Aspinall in Abu Dhabi, sign me up. Not a bad fight at all. I would go Tom Aspinall by finish. Kayla Harrison and, I'm forgetting the name, I'm just kidding, Amanda Nunes in the UFC women's bantamweight division. Not going to happen this year. A lot of people want this fight to happen. I want this fight to happen. This is the greatest female fighter in the world, and the number 4 pound for pound fighter in the world, the UFC bantamweight champion, undefeated in the UFC, has beaten every fighter she's faced. Think about that. But it's not going to happen this year. Amanda Nunes still is not listed amongst the fighters who have been drug tested in 2025. She hasn't been drug tested yet. Now, she could be back in the testing pool and just hasn't been tested yet. But the last update was on June 20th and she didn't have any tests. That was just a few days ago. She didn't have any test. And in order for you to be able to fight, when you're in the UFC and you're in the drug testing system, you have to get a test. And then from that point, you get the test, you get the results. 6 months from that point is when you can fight again. She hasn't even gotten a test yet, which means she can't even fight for at least another 6 months. If she gets a test right now, the earliest she'd be able to fight is December 23rd. And there's no UFC fight card then. So she'd have to fight in 2026. There will be no Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison this year, which leads possibilities for Kayla to defend against somebody else. A lot of people don't want this. A lot of people want them to just stick with the Kayla Amanda Nunes fight and just book it for 2026, But it's not going to happen. I really think Kayla Harrison is going to have to defend sometime at the end of this year and then fight Nunes if she wins that fight at the beginning of next. Juliana Peña's there, Raquel. They're not going to do either of them. She's already beaten Ketlin Vieira, so it's literally Norma Dumont. It is Norma Dumont. That's it. So Norma Dumont, Kayla Harrison, probably like a November MSG co-main event, December co-main event, whatever. But it's not going to be Nunes, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. She's not going to be that fight, which is unfortunate. We move on. Ilia Topuria confirms he does not believe Islam Makhachev is ducking him. He says, I do not think Islam is ducking me. To be honest, I'd be lying to you if I told you that he's ducking me. I think he's just tired of the weight cut. He wants a new challenge up at welterweight. He moved to the welterweight division. He feels and he thinks that he has a chance to become the double champion. I think that's all he's trying to do. Ilia Topuria says this on the comparisons of his saga with Islam Makhachev compared to Tom Aspinall's saga with John Jones. As obviously everybody's saying, John Jones ducking Tom Aspinall. So people have the same question, is Islam ducking Ilia? No, Ilia doesn't believe that. So if Ilia is saying it himself, likely is going to be the case. I do believe this is the case. I don't believe Islam is ducking Ilia Topuria, but what do you guys think about that? And speaking of John Jones, Dana White comes out and he says he still doesn't believe John Jones ducked Tom Aspinall, despite his retirement. He says he's never ducked anybody, and then he prefaces it by, except for Chael Sonnen, the GOAT, Chael Sonnen. I think he ducked. I think they gave him the money. And if he had to fight Cyril Gane again in November in MSG, John Jones would have said yes. If he got the same money, but just a different opponent, John Jones would have said yes. Because it was Tom Aspinall, John Jones said no. Simple as that. Dana, you're lying. You're lying, bud. You're lying. Then we got Tony Ferguson fight news soon. He reveals on his Instagram earlier today, he says, some crazy stuff, too many emojis. What is he doing? Centrally peripheral attacking. This is an entirely different level. CNS and PNS firing on all cylinders. It's not easy by far. Extra ... challenge accepted. CSO hashtag fight news soon. The heck is Tony Ferguson on? Like seriously, what is he on right now? God damn. I guess Tony's fighting again. Why? I don't know. He's trying to make money, I guess, but probably retire. If he has enough money, he should probably retire. But he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. We'll see what happens there. And in bigger news, June 28th, Robert Telez, aka myself, Bird MMA, is going to be taking on Ralph Gobble. This is a horrible picture of him. Pretty blurry. It's a better picture of him after his last win. 1-0 versus 1-0 this weekend, June 28th, around 5:30, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Bantamweight action, undefeated versus undefeated, 1-0 versus 1-0, teenager versus teenager. Whose O will go? And I think it's going to be Ralph Gobble's. We'll see what happens, but I am predicting myself to win round 2, Darce choke submission or ninja choke submission. A lot of people want me to get a knockout. I'm sorry. I'm going for the submission, okay? I'm going for the submission. But that is the biggest news of the day, by far, is my own fight this weekend. All right. We move on to smaller news. We'll go on to the Burt MMA 2, the small news channel. And we got Rinat Fakhretdinov fight news soon. Is it Tony Ferguson? No. Tony's not in the UFC anymore, but he's got fight news soon. He just said, well, maybe he's trolling. He only said news coming soon. So you never know. He could be that one guy that's saying news coming soon and it's just a sponsorship, which I hate when UFC fighters do that, but it is looking like he's got fight news coming soon. It's not in Abu Dhabi, he told me. So it's looking like August or September is what I'm looking like for Rinat Fakhretdinov's next fight. He's undefeated in the UFC, has one draw, has some split decisions, has some close fights, but he is undefeated. We'll see who he fights next. He wants D-Rod. We'll see if he gets that. And then the other one we did have, Yana Santos calling out Macy Chasson. That is number 9, I believe. Yeah, number 9, Yana Santos calling for top 5 at Macy Chasson. Macy's coming off a loss. Yana is coming off 2 wins. So not a bad call out at all for Yana Santos. And then for the smallest news of the day, we got Evan Elder saying he wants to return in August or September. Yeah, that's literally the smallest news we have today. Yeah, pretty small freaking news. Yeah, Evan Elder. We'll see who he gets booked with next. I think he's 3-2 in the UFC, but he's on a 3-fight win streak, which means he started his career 0-2, came back with 3 wins, so he's on a little bit of a tear right now. But that is about it. That's all we got for today's MMA news. Not too shabby. A lot of ducking posts, which is interesting. A few fight news soon posts as well, some injury posts, some big main event announcements, some this fight isn't going to happen announcements. So decent day in today's MMA news. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Do all the good stuff. See you in the next one.